March 2025 recommendations. It's been a good month with okay weather. It hasn't been extremely hot, so summer didn't come like 3 months early like normally, so that's cool. My job change has made everything in my life better, and if anyone's having the same issue as I was having leaving my job of 4 years, if it's hurting your mental health, leave. For the yes section, Ponryu is a cute slime. First off, the show's so precious, the art style's adorable, and the music is great. The story of a slime that somehow is given life, and it's not seen as weird or anything in this universe, so maybe it's normal? Not quite sure. And she does a magical girl transformation when she puts borax in herself to change her appearance, and that's great. Papillon Season 2. So first off, Season 1 was so much better. I think all together it was just a better written story. Just the character dramas between them all seemed more interesting, but animation still amazing. A Condition Called Love. Yes, it's pretty. It's a pretty slow burn. As slow burn as you can get, almost. I will admit. And not a lot of tension, because it's kind of just a cutesy little romance to watch, nothing more really added to it. I liked it. This boy also has some possible issues he needs to fix with therapy. Anywho, A Stranger in My Home. So I possibly was already watching this because of how much ID I've watched throughout my lifetime, but I don't quite remember. So I started this series about people invading other people's homes, which is very scary. That's a very scary thought. Kinda Pregnant. I know people are hating on this movie, but I liked it. I found some stuff funny. People are hating on this movie. It's mostly because Amy Schumer, and nobody likes Amy Schumer. I get it. But I liked it. I found some stuff funny and overall an interesting premise to try and make in a comedy movie, and I thought that was interesting. But I've seen much worse stuff. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. So I myself have just started playing the Tomb Raider remake series. I guess it would be considered remakes, the newer ones. Anywho, and it's amazing. It's been the first game that I've played in a while where I'm able to sit down for 6+ hours playing it. I haven't had that kind of enjoyment out of a game since Resident Evil 4. So it's kind of a fun little thing for me. I'm enjoying myself. Like the game, it's very addicting, fast-paced. The show has a lot of the same vibe. I think they were made by the same people or based off of the same kind of story line as the originals. I'm not quite sure. Maid. After watching The Substance, I wanted to watch more of Margaret's movies, and I heard this show was amazing, and yes, it is. A simple story of a girl with no help trying to make it for her daughter. Such a good life lesson in this show. Amazingly acted, greatly written. I loved this show. I watched it in a day. It was great. Venom: The Last Dance. I actually quite liked the first Venom movie. The second was okay, but this one was right in the middle of the line, so I don't quite know where it belonged, but they stole the idea of the Kotex possibly from Captain Marvel, but I'm not quite sure. I really don't care. I'm just mentioning it. But this movie was not bad at all. Pacing is pretty good as well. Trial by Fire, based on a true story about an unfair trial and the fire that killed kids. It was acted in such a way that was very believable, and it was like watching an ID documentary. Fallen, I like this kind of drama-ish fantasy. Romance is my favorite type of storyline. I love triangle with a fantasy trope. So it's done in the style of the Vampire Diaries love triangle, but with fallen angels instead of vampires, so that was fun. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So, I'm not sure if this was made because someone was a really big fan boner of Nicolas Cage, or if it was just part of the absurdity of the movie. But either way, I think it was done really well. This could have been more crazy if they wanted to, and it would have fit in with the story just fine. Control Freak. This movie's very, very strange, to be honest. I'm not sure what I watched. I think it's some kind of ant demon. or something. It's a bit on the strange side, but I liked it. It was good. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This Spider-Man story takes place in another time period or another dimension or another Earth or something. Peter gets his powers in this version from a spider falling through a portal while Doctor Strange is fighting some spider monster. I'm not quite sure. The animation in this is really nice, and the story so far is okay for what it is. It's just a little Saturday morning cartoon kind of vibe, something too serious. Starstruck. So actually, while I was younger, I didn't watch this movie, so I figured I'd watch it, and because I always heard everyone saying it was good when I was younger, and I never made it, never could get it on Disney Channel original movie time, you know. It's cute. A pop star and a girl falling in love, that good trope. It's a good trope. Superman the Animated Series. One Saturday morning, my boyfriend was like, hey, we should watch this, since we're currently watching anything with Superman, which we are. We're just having a Superman field day. We're watching everything Superman related at the moment. And it's great. Honestly, it still holds up. I haven't watched it since I was a child, and it's actually pretty good. They do a good job. Final Destination. I've watched most of the series, 2 through 4, so I just wanted to watch all of them. And yes, the film series is great and doesn't feel repetitive, at least in the first 4 movies. A horrible event on the plane still scares me. Final Destination 2. This one's actually my favorite, and actually the reason why I'm scared of driving behind log trucks. So this one introduced new themes and had my favorite group of characters in it. Final Destination 3. This also another reason I don't like roller coasters. This one has the best lead character in my opinion, Mrs. Royal Pain herself. The Final Destination, actually not the final movie, it's actually the 4th in the series, and this one takes place at a racetrack, and the characters in this one seem to almost survive this one. I partially believe that someone was going to beat it this time, but no, they didn't. Then no. Kite Man, hell yeah. So first off, we better get a season 2 for this. The show's great for multiple reasons. First, animation looks great, giving a very unknown weak character his own show, which is a great way to get more characters noticed, is amazing. And it was a villain, so it takes place technically in the Harley Quinn show universe, which I still have not watched, but we will. The relationship with Golden Glider, cute. Bane being the best and funniest character in the show was not something I expected, but amazing. Like I said, this is a spin-off of the Harley Quinn shows I have yet to watch, but the show's literally hilarious. I watched it in one day. Amazing. Yes, God, yes. A movie that I enjoyed, because Miss Nancy Wheeler is in here, but man, did a lot of it make me uncomfortable, which was possibly the intent of the movie, and I'm pretty sure anyone that watches it gets uncomfortable. A girl goes to a Christian retreat and discovers herself in her sexy times, and that's all I'm going to say about that. The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. I don't know if I said that right. I probably said it wrong. I don't like the Lord of the Rings series at all, and I know I'm a bad fantasy nerd. I like everything fantasy, but I don't like Lord of the Rings. It's like a sin, right? Not liking the very, very popular fantasy. I know, I'm sorry. The story in this is great. The animation, just everything about it, great. Though it doesn't lean too much into the Lord of the Rings lore, it has slight fantasy elements, which I love, so I feel like it can be enjoyed even if you don't like Lord of the Rings. And I've actually watched all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits. I just don't like it. So I've watched everything. I really tried. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like it. The Boarding School Murders. The plot in this goes crazy, to be honest. Like, our main character goes to a boarding school in Switzerland to where a crazy murder plot happens and everything comes out at the end. At the very, literally last scene, all of this mess comes out, and it's 10 times crazier than you would assume it would be. So, would recommend that, just based on the surprise. Now for the mess section. Dan. I don't know if I said that right. I know a lot of people are liking this anime a lot, and I feel bad when I don't like a popular anime. I'm not on the anime train. But I'm not on the train this at all. I'm not. I wish I did, because I wanted to like it. The animation style is very beautiful, though just not my kind of thing. Demon City, based on an anime or a manga or a webtoon or something. I'm not quite sure. But I feel like the characters could have been better. It would have made, because the setting wasn't something super inversive, so I feel like if the characters were better, I don't know. Moana 2. I love the first movie so much. I love Disney princess movies, as we've talked about. I even liked Wish, and I don't think anyone liked Wish. I just like Disney princesses, because I like fantasy. They're my favorite, but they didn't try. I know everyone said this before. We all know it was supposed to be a show originally, so this wasn't supposed to be a feature film, and it would have had more going on. And you can tell it's very disappointing, but I'm not surprised, because like that's kind of how Disney's been the last few years. Like, not too much is great about them. They're very much living in the meh section, okay, in all of their movies. And there's too many characters going on here. It's becoming overcrowded. With a show, it might not have been as noticeable, but with the movie, it really is. Final Destination 5. Well, we finally got to this movie. So, by this point in the series, the movie took a while to get me to care. All the characters were pretty bad, and this one is the most forgettable out of the 5. And by this point, it felt like it was being repetitive, and it was overstaying its welcome. The idea of a supernatural thing is scary, but something natural, like death, is something you can't escape from. There's not really a way to escape death. And I think it was a really cool premise, and it worked really well. I just felt like after a while, it overstood its welcome. Because how many thousand ways to die type deaths can you have, you know? Now for the nose section, Grimmsburg. So this had all the ingredients of a show I would love. Love it. The premise, cool. The setting, cool. The art style is a little ugly, but I could have dealt with it. However, I did not make it very far into the show because they kept going the new comedy thing that they was talking about last time, over-explaining every joke. Too much over-explaining of the joke took away from me living in the moment and trying to escape into the show. I just couldn't do it. Kraven the Hunter. I heard this was so bad, and I always like to see for myself. I don't know why, I just have to, and dear Lord, they literally dropped the ball so hard. The origin went on way too long for him, I'm sorry. The opening scene, before we get his origin, didn't need to be there. It could have started off with the origin. I think it would have worked a lot better, in my opinion. So, should have removed that. The character wasn't bad at all. I actually liked Kraven somewhat, even though they don't explain him, who he is, for a good 30 minutes of the movie. You don't really know anything, and they never ever explain his powers. The slight comic knowledge that I do have is the only reason I was able to tell my boyfriend what he was. So, had that not been, I would be like, well, I don't know who he is, because his powers are never really explained. His weaknesses are never explained, which makes for a boring movie. And then they did him dirty. For no reason. Just Sony being dirty. I don't know. And the ending wasn't great either. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Finish him!